Yeah, so what seems like got a lot of people questioning my sources, wanting to know what books I'm reading, shit like that. Now, if you're sincere and you just starting out, you a novice or a neophyte, as they would say, you know what I'm saying? And why you trying to bump heads with me? Feel me? A lot of people be like fanatics, get a little bit of information, and they try and run with it and change the world. We all did it. Everybody was guilty of that at one point. But then, after a few years of cracking books and shit, you realize a lot of the shit that you thought was true in the beginning of your journey, it's a lot of bullshit. A lot of shit that was being fed to you by people who had an agenda. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Have my people been described as Moors? Yeah. We've been called Negro, Black, and Colored as well. So why on one hand is Negro, Black, and Colored a brand, but Moor isn't? Like the Moors they'll question you like Negro, Black, and Colored was a term placed on you. That's called a xenonym, right? Say this shit 100 times. It's a xenonym. It's a title placed on you by a foreign people for political reasons. Right? The naming of things. So, any foreign title placed on you is a xenonym. I don't care if the blackest nigga from Africa come here and call you something. If you did not call yourself that, it's a xenonym. Right? It's done for political reasons. Or it's done for lack of knowledge. But in no way does these terms define who you are. We are self-determining people, right? So if that term don't exist in your language, it don't apply. So I ask these people who say, well, Lenape or Moors, I'm like, then why is there no equivalent to that word in our language? You know what I'm saying? Because Moor is a descriptive term. It's not a nation. There ain't no singular nation called Moor. You know what I'm saying? You had these different Moorish dynasties that ruled Spain. None of them called themselves Moors at the time. So it's like when people say, oh, you a Moor, you this, we Moors, we that, yeah, cool. If you're using it as a descriptive title, you know what I mean? Okay, I can fuck with you on that. But if you getting political, trying to define me as a Moor and say I'm a part of some non-existent Moorish empire, that lets me know you ain't been cracking these books. And you don't really know the history that you claim to be, educated in. Anybody who studies Moorish history they'll tell you 711 to 1492, but you can go back to the, 600, you can go back to the fall of Greece, fall of Rome, pardon me. You can really start there and before. But it's popular to date things from 711 to 1492. But the Reconquista started shortly after the Moors entered into Europe. So you get people like Charles the Hammer Martel who fought the Moors back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was skirmishes going on the whole time the Moors was up there building, and there was also skirmishes going on amongst the Moors. So there was never a unified people. There was never one people. They never had one caliphate rulership. You know what I mean? So people were like this Moorish Empire. I'm like, where the fuck was the Moorish Empire when the Moors was getting expelled from Spain? Where the fuck was the Moorish Empire then? Where the fuck was the Moorish Empire when the Moors was being enslaved in the Americas? You know what I'm saying? Because there was no actual mythological Moorish empire. That's just some shit somebody tells you who has an agenda, and they want to sell you on that shit. That shit's not real. The Umayyad dynasty, there's the Almoravid dynasty. Man, dynasties that existed in Europe, and they was all fighting amongst each other. One group came in, conquered, and started fucking all the white women. So the other group was like, we ain't with that shit. They followed up behind them, started chopping their fucking heads off. Right? So where was this Moorish unity back then? This is before they even got to the Americas. Then people want to say, well, you know, people of color traveled all over the planet. Yeah, they did. Nobody's denying that. Were there people of color from Europe and from Africa, from Asia and the Americas? Yes, but there was not here as no ruling class. And just because you find artifacts, you know what I mean, that show that the Phoenicians may have come here at some point, that don't mean that the Phoenicians and the people that was here are one and the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, was there Moors in Delaware? Hell yeah, that's why they're called the Moors of Delaware. Are the Moors of Delaware and the Delaware Nation one synonymous people? No, they not. That's like saying Germans in Delaware are the same as the Delaware Nation. No, there were Moors in Delaware, in Kent County, Delaware. They were not the Lenape. They mixed in with Nanticoke. They mixed in with Lenape. But they are not the Lenape. Alright? If you marry into a family, the family that you marry into does not now historically become your family going back in history. You cannot, you know what I mean? If Patricia Johnson marries John Clark, you cannot now rename the Clarks going back in history as the Johnsons. And you can't name the Johnsons going back in history as the Clarks. It's just at that point when them two come together, all their offspring now share a history. But even then, you cannot combine the two histories and make them one synonymous history going back retroactively. No, that's ridiculous. It's moronic. But this is the shit that we go through. You know what I'm saying? So I challenge any more powwow all summer up and down the East Coast. Any of you Moors care to come to any of these powwows on the East Coast, any of these Eastern Woodland powwows, and show and prove that we are the same people who share the same culture, please do. You know what I'm saying? But skin ain't culture, B. Skin color ain't culture. You know what I'm saying? Do we look alike? Sure. You know why? Because we're a product of seafaring nations that have been coming here for thousands of years and intermarrying. That's why we look like these certain people all over the planet. Because this has been happening all over the planet. But don't get it fucked up. Don't get it fucking twisted. The Lenape are not Moors. I sat down with the Nanticoke historian, Reverend John Norwood. I sat down with the chief. You know what I'm saying? And I asked them specifically. But before I was even able to ask them these questions and sit and you know, partake in their wisdom, they asked me, who am I? I told them I'm a Reeve, I'm a Richardson, I'm a Rock, I'm Sandhill. You know what they said? Oh yeah, Lone Bear assisted us. You see what I'm saying? Say no more. Get your shit together and we gonna help y'all. Because they know who we are. And all they had to do was mention family names. I ain't have to pull out no motherfucking books. I ain't have to do shit. All that comes for when we about to sit down with the state. And now we got to prove this shit to the state. But guess what? As long as we handle our protocol and we come respectfully, all the other tribes is going to assist us when we go to sit down with the state, if that's what we intend to do. You know what I'm saying? But first and foremost, we had to show and prove to our fellow Lenape in our territory who we were. And once they saw who we were, it changes the game. You know what I'm saying? We the people. The people know who they are. There ain't no Bays or L's and none of that shit, or Ali's and none of that shit historically attached to the Lenape. The only people that tell you are Bays, L's, and Ali's and all these, and Days and all these other, you know what I'm saying? They're the only ones that's gonna tell you that because it serves their agenda. But they can't show you historically. So the next time one of these Moors tells you that they Lenape or they the Delaware, I want you to question them. I want you to ask them to show you their resources and show them, you know, where they get this information from. Vet that shit. Is that shit, you know what I'm saying? Has that shit been has it been peer reviewed by other scholars? You know what I'm saying? And fuck Europeans. When I say peer review, if you motherfuckers is claiming Nanticoke, I want to see some fucking Nanticoke with some status and some fucking knowledge of who they are, co-sign that shit. I don't need the white man to co-sign it. You say you fucking Nanticoke, show up at the goddamn powwows, break bread with your people, and show them who you are, and let them co-sign that shit. Shit's crazy, man. Shit's motherfucking crazy. I show and prove everything I fucking say. And we living in the age of Google, my nigga. All you gotta do, you hear a word come out my mouth, all you gotta do is Google it. You don't even gotta spell the shit right. It'll fucking spell correct the shit for you. And it'll bring you the information. So niggas be like, can you get me some, can you give me some resource? I need to know where you got that from. Let me get some references. Nigga, just Google the shit that come out my mouth. And if you can't find it, then I'm fucking lying. But anything you fucking Google, anything I say, you go to Google and shit's gonna come right up. I ain't got time to be making up no motherfucking history. Fuck I look like making up history. Niggas done lost your fucking mind, man. Do the fucking research. Care enough about yourself to fucking do the research and do your genealogy and find out who you really are. Then go out here and start fucking teaching. Get out them goddamn books, yo. Them books should only motherfucking co-sign what you already know. But if you coming out them books, man, you already being programmed. I ain't learned I was Lenape from no fucking books. I learned it from my people. I learned it from my surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in my family has the opportunity to decide which path they want to follow. Because they all are born with the knowledge. We all know we Lenape. Now what we do with it, or if we choose to walk that way of life, that's on us. I'm a Lenape that grew up on some hip hop shit. 5%, knowledge of self, you know what I'm saying? Master 120 in 92. You know what I'm saying? But when I got into really studying and fleshing out who I was as a Lenape, not just knowing I'm Lenape, but going into the science of it, I had to put a lot of that down. You know what I'm saying? I had to deal with my exact history. Because even that, even those lessons are general. You know what I'm saying? They're not specific to who you are. It's a general, these are general degrees that put you on a path of understanding who you are and valuing yourself and clean you up and get you out the gutter. You know what I'm saying? But even then you're supposed to elevate beyond that. So now I deal with the exact science of who I am. You understand? It's one thing to know how many bones you got in your body and all that. We all, you know, that's general information. It's another thing to understand what you are allergic to, and what foods taste good to you, so on and so forth, shit that's specific to who you are. This is the shit we gotta deal with. Yeah, so all these people out here who want to act like I got an issue with the Moors, Science Temples of America and all that, I don't. I have a lot of respect for the Moors. I have respect for Noble Drew Ali and what it is he came to do. I stand with righteous Moors. What I don't do, I don't play no games with these dirty ass fuck nigga Moors who be trying to snatch my people, my nation's identity and claim it for their own based on some shipwrecked Spaniards. You know what I'm saying? That's what I don't do. Because see, I know my history. And I know that the founding fathers, you know what I'm saying, along with the Iroquois nation and the Moors that came here with the Europeans, all conspired against us, the Lenape, and against many other Eastern Woodland tribes. You know what I'm saying? I know this history. It's recorded in my nation's history. Grandfather speaks. Feel me? So I'm not going to sit up here and tolerate any of these neophytes, any of these newcomers to this information trying to usurp my people and our history. George Washington did not chop down the Moorish flag and the cherry tree. That had nothing to do with the Moors. That had everything to do with the Lenape and where our Grand Shechems met. They met at a cherry orchard. That was where we handled political business. It's where all the tribal leaders came together and they discussed tribal business. It's at a cherry orchard that was located on Lower Manhattan, right where you will find One Cherry Street, which was the first presidential White House, the first place George Washington, you know what I'm saying, who was the first president, conducted business. You know what I'm saying? But the events that happened 100 years before George Washington even lived. So it ain't like he's responsible for that. He just chose that house. You understand? And I could go into deeper detail, which I will. I got many pieces of work I'm ready to release. You know what I'm saying? Educational as well as entertaining. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, at what point people going, you know what I'm saying? I love that you respect my work. You know what I'm saying? But show me you respect my work, yo. I got a Patreon page. www.patreon.com/TurtleGangEdutainment. Like, I'm asking for a $5 membership donation a month. Pardon me, the information I present is not worth $5 a month. Like, I don't just get on here and just run my mouth. I show y'all, I give y'all references. I put together presentations that are entertaining as well as educational. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'd like to get online and just run my mouth and go off the top of my head. But I prefer to, you know, give y'all presentations, visuals, all these things that's going to help edify you. And if you just take what I give you and you go do your own research, you're going to find so much more. Because I leave a lot, you know what I'm saying? I leave a lot on the table. Can't cover everything. So, you know, I don't ask for handouts. I don't ask for donations. I ask for people, if you appreciate the work I do, just subscribe to my Patreon page, yo. Buy a t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, this is fair trade. I'm not asking for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I done held niggas down at least 10 summers straight. Where's the love? You feel me? You know, and focusing more on my family and doing things within my nation and within my sister nations, the nations, you know, all the nations here in New Jersey, Lenape-Hokin, on up through, you know, Long Island. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, at some point, you know, we all want to be appreciated for what we do. I'm asking for a $5 subscription fee a month. You know what I mean? That's it. I'm not trying to get rich off people. Me and wifey got our own plans to do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, the Peace Kanawa. Wanishi. Peace. Oh yeah, and anybody who ever want to debate any of the information I present, get your bag and let's make it happen. Feel me? Anybody. Anybody. Word is bond. Everything. We all know the word is your bond and your bond is your life. And I should give my life before my bond shall fail me. Let's get it. Anybody. Once again, peace.